Roundup of all the universities countrywide in terms of what is happening on the ground. Let's find out from Yemen.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jarvis. It's been a quiet morning thus far, but security here in Gauteng remains tight at the Braamfontein campus of Wits University, that's here in Johannesburg, following yesterday's renewed violent protests there. The students' two-week FeesMustFall campaign was successful after President Jacob Zuma gave in to their demands last week and declared a 0% fee increase for 2016. But a small faction of Wits students are still protesting for outstanding demands, such as the outsourcing of cleaning staff there now. Our own reporter, Manqoba Mchunu, he joins us from Wits to give us the latest. A very good morning to you, Manqoba. I understand you have a guest with you this morning, but just set the scene for us there this morning. Does it look like things are pretty much back to normal or not?
Well, certainly, Eben, the situation remains volatile here at Wits University following protests yesterday where we saw police firing stun grenades to try and disperse a small group of students who are continuing with protests. They are calling for the end of outsourcing of contract staff here at the university, which is amongst the demands that were being made initially by the students here when they started their protests about 2 weeks ago. But certainly the small group are still insisting that they're going to go on with protests, insisting that they want a total shutdown to continue here at the university. But what we've seen today coming here is that certainly the scene or the situation here has calmed down relatively. We've seen that a number of students are willing to go back to class. In fact, when we walked in here this morning, we saw a number of buses coming in and dropping students and students carrying their backpacks, going into lecture halls. And certainly we've been seeing a lot of students heeding that call to go back to their studies. And we know that also the youth leadership here at the university is currently calling on students to go back to classes and to write their exams. So to further discuss this, I'm joined now by Pindile Mapanga, who's from the Progressive Youth Alliance here at the university, to discuss this further. Pindile, welcome to the show. Firstly, we know that there's a small group of students that are going on with protests. Yeah. What is your position as the Progressive Youth Alliance?
Look, I think one thing that should be noted is that we employ different forms of strategies and tactics, right? It's also important to make it known that if we are not burning tires and burning books, it doesn't necessarily mean we are not for the cause, all right? We want students to return to their classes, but we also want insourcing, all right? We can't make it a point that these two interests negate because they're interrelated, they're mutually and intrinsically complementary. So we can't make them now clash all of a sudden. We are for students in general, for the working class in particular, and we believe in advancing the cause concurrently. So the issue of us not being or to be found wanting on the issue of insourcing, I personally think it's a political ploy, all right, by a small cabal of students who want to delegitimize the leadership of this campus. And I think it's highly disheartening that they've managed to disintegrate the unity of students and to dismantle the hegemony that we've established in the inception of the strike.
Okay, Pindile, I know that you initially were calling also for the very same thing. So does this mean that you have now abandoned this, or are you still going to call on to try and win this battle of against outsourcing?
As I said, we shouldn't be looked as if we are trying to sell out the cause. In fact, we are the ones that initially initiated this campaign, all right, that students must have no fee increment. But in addition to that, as non-peripheral issues, all right, we need to include the issue of workers because they're interrelated, as I said. The fact that we can't afford fees on campus is because our mothers and fathers are ill-treated, are exploited by the system. So we can't address one without the other. But we are saying that students must not suffer at the expense of people who want to create disunity on campus. All right, students are willing to stand up for the cause, but they are also willing to go to exams. Why can't the two work together and complement each other? All right, we have students who are international students, which their visas end by the end of November. All right. What do we say of those students if they don't write exams as expediently as possible? What do we say of students who are in residences who will be chucked out of those residences? Over 60% of the student population stay in res. What do you say of those students? So that's why the PYA stays in governance, because we always maintain sound leadership to our student populace, and we don't try pulling stunts on management unnecessarily so. All right. We pull decisive decisions, all right, that will benefit the general student populace, and making schools shut down, in our understanding, is not going to benefit our students at this current moment. But we will keep on, and we are insisting on programs that will make sure that Habib actually speaks to the issue of insourcing. It's highly problematic that Habib is not committed to the cause of insourcing, and we are not silent on those issues. During the course of the week, we are planning pickets, we are planning hunger strikes. But once we are done picketing, we'll go back to class. We've done this before. We've done this in 2012, where we go to class hungry, and we've passed, okay? Because we are for the cause of the working class and for the cause of students in general.
Okay, we'll have to hold it there, Pindile, for now. Well, that was Pindile Mapanga, who's from the Progressive Youth Alliance, telling us their stance really on this particular protest, saying that they are supporting the cause, but they believe at this particular juncture it's important for students to go back to class. Now, we have heard from varsity management saying that there were no incidents that were reported overnight here at Wits University, but I'm just going to catch up quickly with Sharona Patel, who's also the Wits University spokesperson, just to get a sense of what's going on in terms of on their side as university management. Sharona, welcome. Again, it's a pleasure to have you today. What's happening currently with the classes? Are classes going on as planned?
Yes, so you can look around you. We've got our academic programs running as normal. We're very grateful today that we haven't had any disturbances yet, and we hope that it stays this way.
And in terms of going forward, is everything still, are we still prepared for exams? Are exams going to take place as scheduled?
So exams will be postponed. A new examination timetable will be made available tomorrow, that's Friday, and we're just rearranging it to accommodate for the time that we lost during the protest. So we promise students that we'll have a new timetable out by tomorrow. But exams which were meant to start on the 2nd of November, which is Monday, have now been postponed. We're just determining whether it's by a week or 2 weeks.
And certainly yesterday we saw a flare-up of the protest again. We saw property being vandalized and, a fire satellite. I mean, what measures are you putting in place today to ensure that this doesn't happen today?
Okay, so we've got additional security on our campuses today, particularly around lecture theatres. We do have the police on standby. We've asked them at this stage just to secure the gate so people can get in and go out freely. However, we have to say that, the last 2 weeks, the protests have been fairly peaceful, but I think we've seen a change in the nature of the protest in the last 2 days, with things being burnt on campuses, bookshops and books being burnt, etc. And it's for that reason that we're saying that we're going to keep the police presence on campus, just to make sure people can enter and leave, and so that the police is on standby if required. However, we will only be using our campus security to make sure that everything on the campus is fine. Now, from our side, we can't obviously predict what's going to happen next, but for now things are pretty stable. Exams will probably go ahead as usual with just some new dates. Academic activities, we're really trying to catch up for the 2 weeks that we left, and our academics and our students seem committed to doing so.
And just finally, Sharona, we know that that call for outsourcing to end remains. I mean, what is the university doing to try and deal with that particular call?
So the Vice-Chancellor met with workers yesterday. They largely made up the protesters for yesterday, and he met with them and he agreed to 4 things. Number 1 is that he would meet with representatives from the workers today. They would together set up a commission to look at insourcing versus outsourcing at Wits, to look at what's needed in terms of insourcing, what resources are required, how many people are required, etc. And he wants this commission to report by the end of November. Secondly, he's agreed to talk to the Presidential Commission that's been set up to look at to help universities insource. Thirdly, he's agreed to look at a workers' charter and to give them some responses today. And lastly, he's agreed to take the memorandum from the workers and take it to the next meeting of council. So we're hoping that today he will meet with some of the representatives from the outsourced workers.
Thank you very much. That was Shirona Patel, who is the Wits University spokesperson, updating us on the situation here. Well, certainly we are hoping that the situation will remain calm, and certainly that's what the university management here is hoping for at this particular stage. But we'll be keeping a close eye on developments here, and we'll certainly update you there at home to these developments as the day goes on. Back to you, Ieben in studio.
Manqoba, thank you very much for that update. We'll be back with him on the spot there at Wits University. Of course, it all started at Wits just over 2 weeks ago now, and then spread all around the country to a scenario where we saw Parliament being stormed. And then, of course, we had the issues outside union buildings in the capital here in Pretoria.